Right, this is row 106. I'm going to turn my tray around. My box isn't big enough to hold all 18 colours, so I'm using a tray as well. Now, this is the side where we're going to have the diagonal stocking stitch rows, columns I mean, and the vertical stocking stitch columns are going to be pearls on this side. So I'm knitting one, which is the slip stitch, and then this is a twisted stitch to the left. There we go. I'm going to leave the yarn at the back of the work because that's stocking stitch. I'm going to pick the new colour up from underneath the old. I'm going to knit 8. My vertical stocking stitch columns are at the beginning of each colour section. I find that much easier to remember. So the next stitch is going to be a pearl. So I leave that yarn at the front and I pick up the new yarn from the front as well. Knit the pearl stitch and knit 8. And now I'm going to change to the next colour, which is one of the new ones. I'm going to follow the yarn just to find out where it is, pick it up from underneath the old, and the first stitch is a twisted stitch to the right. So here we go. Twisted stitch to the right and then change colour. The stocking stitch column is a pearl on this side, so I leave this yarn in front and pick up the next colour. Always from underneath the old. It's a pearl, so I purl one, and then it's a twisted stitch to the left, so I need to reorientate the stitch so it's not twisted. There we go. Now swap colours. Because that was a twisted stitch, I leave the colour at the back and pick up the new colour from underneath the old. I'm going to knit 8. And now it's a purl stitch with a vertical stocking stitch line. So I leave this colour in front and pick up the new colour from underneath the old. And it's knit 8. Now it's a new colour. Ooh, have I knitted 8? Did I purl one? Looks like I forgot to purl one. This happens to me a lot. For the vertical stocking stitch columns though, it's very important to get the right purl / knit combo because it's extremely noticeable. But for most other stitches, I think you can get away with a lot. Just the stocking stitch lines, diagonal and vertical, it's really important you get them the right way around. Okay, so now next twisted stitch. pick up the new colour from underneath the old and twist to the right. Change colour and leave yarn at the front because the next stitch is a pearl and I want to hide my floats. Purl the next stitch and then it's a twisted stitch to the left, so I have to change the orientation of my stitch. There we go. And I leave that colour at the back. And pick up the new from underneath the old and knit 8 stitches. Then next colour, I'm going to leave that in front because the next colour starts with a pearl. So purl that, then knit 8. Right, next colour, follow the yarn. Where has it gone? And this I'm going to try and keep it in some sort of order. Now it's a stocking stitch to the right, a twisted stitch to the right. And then the next stitch will be a purl, so I'm going to move this yarn to the front. Find the next colour, which is next door, luckily. Purl that stitch, and then a twisted stitch to the left. And leave this yarn at the back because that was a knit stitch in the previous stitch and I want to hide the stocking stitch floats, the colour change floats. And this is knit 8. Now the next stocking stitch line is a purl, so just move that over to the front. So I hide my floats in that crease and pick up the new yarn, which is B8, and then knit 8, changing the focus there, 1, 2, and here we are. What have I done? I've done that again. That first stitch should be a purl. This is the most common mistake I make, which is I can never remember which side of each colour section that vertical stocking stitch line comes and whether it's a knit or a purl. Right, fix that. Knit 8, And I'm going to leave this yarn at the back because the floats for the colour change are going to be hidden in the crease. There we go. And I need to do a twisted stitch to the right. There we go, change colour. And I'll do that in front because the next stitch is a pearl. And now a twisted stitch to the left. And I'll leave this yarn at the back and pick up the last colour. Unfortunately, it's a little twisted around my needle. There we go. And I'm going to knit 8. There we go. And so I've got some yarn in the front and some yarns in the back, and I've probably made a mistake, but I'm not really going to worry about it because these stitches are so small that it's very hard to spot mistakes. And so my colour change floats, I always try to hide in the purl crease, but the purl side, so that you don't see them so much. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. In some of my sample scarf floats are sitting in the front and nobody's ever said anything about them or any of the multitude of other mistakes that I've made. There we go.